Maddie.
Hello, Michaela. Did you forget my name for a second there?
How are you?
I'm really well. How are you?
I'm good. I guess this is our first episode of Mix and Mads.
Our first ever episode.
We're mixing it up, matching it up.
Matching, Madsen, mixing, all the good stuff.
All the good stuff here.
How are you going? How have you been?
I've been okay. I mean, this week we've had the sad news of yours and ours, obviously, come to light.
I know.
Really heartbreaking for me.
Really heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It was the one time I was letting myself not adult.
Yeah,
You know what I
100%. 100%.
And I'm in this weird state of like, I think I'm relieved about it, but I'm also really sad at the same time.
I get you 100%.
And it's sad that it's not because of COVID.
I
Like,
just wanted to drink a lot of wine.
I was going to drink wine too. That was going to be my go-to.
We would be on the wines. Look at us go.
Maybe we should just do it anyway.
Yeah.
If anyone's free, so come in on the wines with Mix and Mads.
But we've also just recovered from laryngitis, the both of us.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't get on the wines.
Maybe we shouldn't. So maybe we should keep an eye out for our health here. But
we should.
Yeah, look, it's been a rough week. But we're here doing our first episode, making history, as Sean likes to tell us.
Making history, first ever live show, Radio U, in
Yeah.
the new studios. Very, very exciting indeed.
Yeah. So today, we've actually got a few segments
What's
that
coming up?
we're going to be talking about what's trending. And what is trending is, of course, the Will Smith slam down at the Oscars.
That's actually its official term.
It is the smackdown slam down of the ages.
Marty, was it Marty from Madagascar? Marty the zebra versus the fish from Shark. What's it called? Shark Tale. Shark Tale. Oh my god. Really should have thought that joke through beforehand.
So then we've got a bit of budget talk.
Bit of budget talk. It's been a big 24 hours, 48 hours for politics. A federal election is imminent, so we got to break it down.
We just want to run it down for you guys so that you can understand it.
Yeah.
And then a bit of a homage to yours and ours. Hopefully at the end we'll get to that. You're listening to Mix and Mads
on Radio U.
Our special guest here is Noah. Welcome to the studio, Noah.
Hi, Michaela. Thank you for having me.
No worries at all. Our first official guest of the Mix and Mads show.
Very exciting, very exciting.
So,
indeed.
Noah, you were the secretary of the UOW Basketball Club, which is the best club on campus, obviously, because I'm also a part of that club.
Exactly right.
I'm missing out. If only I could play basketball.
Yeah, come join. And we want you here because we want to talk about the very exciting win of the event of the year.
Yes, very proud.
A couple of weeks ago now, but still very special. So tell me, how was it winning event of the year? What was it for?
So it was for the 3x3 Gift of Life event. We got to put word out to our community just coming out of the first lockdown, if memory serves me correctly, and was like, hey, we're not able to play like organised basketball, but we want to get everyone, on some courts again. And so a lot of people were getting excited to finally be able to play some basketball, and we just put them in teams of 3, and it was a really good opportunity to raise awareness for Gift of Life, which is a foundation based on organ donation, and it was a really good time.
Yeah, it was a really fun time. Everybody dressed up.
Yes, we had like awards for best dressed, and obviously there was like whoever won the day.
Yeah.
It was good fun.
And shout out to Ryan and the Rats. Do you remember them?
I do.
They were a team.
Just
Ryan and the Rats. So funny.
I have to jump in here. Ryan and the Rats?
Yeah.
Can you elaborate, please?
They were a team of 3, and Ryan was like the leader of the team, basically, and the other 2 were his rats. So it was really funny. And they actually won the whole comp, I'm pretty sure. So
I actually have a technical question. 3-on-3 basketball, is that like half court?
yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, stuff running that far with 3-3
Oh, I know, right? It's so hard.
Is 3-on-3, would you, like, as basketball players, is 3-on-3 harder than normal, or is it just too different?
It definitely can be. So I've been watching a little bit of like pros 3-on-3, and it's a lot quicker. You're running harder, like for shorter bursts, and you have usually less people on a 3x3 team. So you get like less breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite challenging.
It's
not my cup of tea, but I took part in it anyway, and it was a really fun event. So you said that like the club was really affected by COVID, and I know we were out for seasons, Snake Pit Comp, where we host a lot of our events and stuff, competitions and stuff like that, closed because of COVID. So how did it really affect us?
It was a total hiatus throughout the entirety of the lockdown. we couldn't really do anything, and the club sort of just, lulled into a sleep, which was, quite disappointing.
Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of the uni clubs out there dealt with that as well. Yeah, we had it hard out here during lockdown.
It was, and I think just infiltrates, again, everyone's we speak to, whether it's like within UOW TV like us or within sports or, you know, the academic clubs, it was just decimating. And especially because you want to keep up that morale, and like I'm sure you guys stayed in touch online and stuff, but I guess it got to a point where like when you're doing everything online, like talking to your family, doing your uni work, like a lot of people just didn't have the mental or emotional energy to do these other things. So
I missed basketball during lockdown for sure.
So much.
And you know, UOW Basketball Club, it's quite a new club. It really only started like before lockdown, really. So end of 2019.
Yeah.
So how did it come about? Do you remember the first meeting we had?
I actually don't. Like, I remember it through stories because I wasn't actually there. My partner was there, and we needed 10 people to be there to form the club. And she was like, Noah, what's your email address? Kind of texting me at the time because I couldn't be there. And we only just managed to scrape 10 people together to get the club up and going. But it's just blossomed from there.
Yeah, because there's UBL, which is all a male competition, which is another basketball competition we have in the Illawarra, I suppose. And Hayley and I, Hayley's the president, we were like, where's all the female rep in basketball, you know what I mean? So we created the basketball club, which we were shocked that there wasn't one in the first place to really accommodate for that.
Exactly right.
Yeah, it's good. So what are we doing this season? How's it been setting everything up for the basketball season coming up?
It's been really optimistic and exciting. So we're getting ready to get back into organised basketball, playing at the Snake Pit competition. We've got 5 different competitive teams and 3 different social teams in that competition. And then we're also getting excited for our expanding on the success of the 3x3 event. We're now hosting one of those events on the first Saturday of each month, which is super exciting. Able to partner up with different foundations and charities and kind of just spread awareness through a sport that we all love, which has been great, and doing a bit more community outreach through it as well, getting more community members to come along to trainings on a Friday night, and it's all very exciting.
100%. And how do we get in touch with the basketball club if we want to join the 3x3 that's happening this Saturday?
So the best place to go is our Facebook page. You can go at UOW Ball is our Facebook page, and all of our events that we ever put up are there. And you'll never miss an event if you follow that page.
Yeah, sounds great.
So as a basketball novice, obviously like I hear about the Snake Pit in Wollongong, and I need you to help me. So obviously there's like the Illawarra Hawks, that's like the NBL, like the national. And then I keep hearing about the Snake Pit and also NBL 1. Is that like the local league underneath, or are you guys part of that NBL 1 league, or is it just like a completely different league? Because I see the Hawks everywhere and they all seem to be different teams, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly right. So the NBL 1 is like a development pathway sort of competition leading into NBL. And it's great. It's the first time it's running, I believe, in the Illawarra area this year. So it's really exciting to see kind of guys that I was training with and at camps with that were light years ahead of me in terms of their talent. But they're,
don't be so modest.
Going on to, I can lace them up still. So it's great to see.
And are you a Hawks fan yourself?
Absolutely. I see some people come to our trials and things in Sydney Kings jerseys, and I'm like, get out of here.
Suddenly the team is full. Goodbye.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no. Well, thank you so much for coming on our first ever show.
I know. What an honour.
This will go down in the history books. Oh, remember that really great show that they did in 2022? Oh, their first guest. He was definitely the first guest.
100%. Yeah. So it's just like about, just we've got to celebrate the uni clubs out there that really, powered through the lockdown and everything. They're kicking it up, and
let us know if there's any other, if you're part of a uni club, or if there's any clubs that you want to have on. There's some interesting people around campus. Let us know. We'll get them on for a chat.
100%. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, Noah, for being a part of this.
Of history.
This is Mix and Mads.
Yeah, nice.
Nice. Here on Mix and Mads, we like to keep up. We like to keep in the know. We like to keep up with what's going on in the world. And we like to look at what's trending. And unless you've been living under a rock, Chris Rock, if you will, Thank you. I have been holding that one all day. Unless you've been living under a Chris Rock, you would know that there was a pretty disturbing incident that happened at the Oscars on our Monday. And you know what? Let's just play it.
Let's revisit it.
Shall we? Let's cast our minds back.
Cast our minds back.
And yeah, this is what occurred.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Will Smith just smacked the out of me.
Keep my wife's name out of your mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Wow, dude is appropriate.
Every time, whenever he's like, Will Smith just kicked the shit out of me, it just gets me every time.
Well, look, it's not an issue to laugh about, but at the same time, like, good comedian. Because he got to laugh. Like, that response was probably the only possible thing he could have said.
Yeah.
In that moment. Look.
It was just wild.
It was wild.
Because I remember, I didn't watch it live.
No.
And I just saw a headline. And it was like, Will Smith wins, like, Oscar for this reason after punching Chris Rock in the face. I was like, sorry? And I just saw that as a headline.
Well, I was actually, I didn't watch it live, but I was following like a live blog. And it came up on the live blog, Will Smith I think it was punch at that stage, you know, it was a bit dramatic, punches Chris Rock in the face. And I went, and even the blog line was like, did that just happen? And I was like, yeah. Did that just happen?
It just, sorry?
What was your first take? Did you think it was real?
As soon as I saw, I thought it was fake. I'm still in the belief that it was really set up.
Set up?
Yeah, I think it was set up. But then I see Will Smith's reaction at the end, and he's genuinely so
that is
mad.
Genuine aggression.
Because I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like, it's set up. He's going to hit him, and I don't think there was real impact on the face.
Whether it was like a more of a stage slap itself, but I definitely don't think the incident, especially for like the Oscars to come out and condone it, the LAPD to come out and say, you know, we're aware of an incident, but he's not pressing charges. Like that's that's
it was just crazy. And even afterwards, I think Will Smith was like being visibly like comforted by other people around
Denzel
him.
Washington, Bradley Cooper, you know, just
the
regular,
usual,
just your regular, you know, therapy buddies. Look, I think the thing that really bothered me about it was the fact that in his speech afterwards, he used love as a justification for violence, and that really angered me, and I think it angered a lot of people, whether like women, domestic violence commentators, to sort of say, you know, I'm a man who protects his family. I think it would have been so much more powerful. I'm not defending Chris Rock in any means. I think the joke about Jada's medical condition is not okay. But I think what would have been more powerful is Will Smith got up there, still went up, took the microphone and said, my wife has a health condition.
Yeah.
If you laughed, then that, you know, says more about you than me.
Yeah, 100%.
We're bouncing. Jada, get your jacket. Let's go. Don't care.
And they walk out. Can you imagine
could you
that headline?
And then he won, and they'd be like, oh, sorry, Will Smith can't be with us right now.
Oh my God, you'd feel horrible. Chris Rock would just feel, no. Well, the thing is, there's a movie coming out with Will Smith in it or something. Oh, the King Richard. Was it for King Richard?
Yeah, there's this movie coming out. He might have won an Oscar for it or something. I don't know. It's not that important.
Look, but yeah, now everybody's talking about him because of this.
He did come out with a statement. This is on Instagram. I'll just read a little bit of it. He said, violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behaviour at the Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. I reacted emotionally. I want to apologise. Violence is never the answer. Falling on deaf ears. I don't know what's going to come out of this. Oh, I shouldn't have said falling on deaf ears. Speaking... Sorry, that is a very bad term. Also, Jada posted today.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying it's a statement. I don't really think that
Yeah,
much.
please read the statement.
The statement is just like an Instagram photo. And it's, this is a season for healing and I'm here for it.
Okay. I don't know. Like, what does that even mean?
What does that even mean?
What does it mean?
What?
So, yeah.
Miley Cyrus on the job. But look, I guess at the end of the day, this has I mean, we're talking about it. It's what's trending, and it's overshadowed something else that is incredibly important and should be the main takeaway from the evening on Monday.
Had some incredible things actually happen on the Oscars.
Some incredible things. Lady Gaga and Liza Minnelli.
Oh,
hello.
I love Liza Minnelli. Do you know she's Judy Garland's daughter? And I love
did
Judy
know
Garland.
that.
Good.
It's good.
It's probably no.
You're like, I'm going to have a talk to you afterwards if you're not. But no, I think the true moment that we should all be talking about is this one.
I just wanted to say that this is dedicated to the deaf community, the CODA community, and the disabled community. This is our moment. To my mom, my dad, and my brother Mark, they're not here today, but look at me now. I did it.
Oh, so cute.
So that was Troy Kotzer and his interpreter accepting the award for Best Supporting Actor. And he is a deaf man, as CODA is about, I haven't seen it, but about a deaf family and their sort of the way they traverse the world. And incredible.
Oh my gosh.
Incredible
and
performance.
like you could just, it's just incredible because you could hear just the breaking in the translator's voice as well, just from the emotion. Just, I would have killed to be in that room and just to celebrate with all of them. It's just an amazing moment.
And I think the fact that we're talking, you know, however many days later, it's the talk of the town. Talk of Tinseltown is this Will Smith incident. And once again, overshadowing, you know, the achievements, you know, history-making achievements.
Yes, because was he the second deaf actor to ever win an Oscar?
I don't know personally. I can't. But even the film itself, would be one of the first. And I think we're finally slowly starting to break these barriers of diversity, and they're still being overshadowed
100%.
by silly people making silly choices.
And you think back to when Parasite won last year. That was also a really big moment for like breaking those boundaries of what the Oscars have been sticking with for so many years, breaking those boundaries about what makes a conventionally good movie or an award-winning movie. It's, you know, discovering whether that's international movies or more like with a more representative cast or stuff like that. It's those movies that are winning awards, which is just incredible.
Those films. And yet we're still talking about The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, let's not.
Also, why'd they make a remake of that show? That's irrelevant. Like, that didn't need to be retouched. And it's
so
and it's the same characters. It's not even like Will Smith's kid grown up, like
a grandson or something.
Anyway, look, that's what's been trending, and I'm sure maybe there'll be some more developments over the next week, or everyone will just forget
it happened.
Forget it happened. But one thing we won't forget is the budget. Actually,
trauma of the
we
budget.
probably will forget the budget. Let's be real. But we are in election season. It's starting to heat up. The federal budget came out last night, and so we're going to break it down.
Yeah, break it down for me, please, Maddie.
There's some things we need to talk about. Back chat. Chat back it chat. Back it up.
There's been a lot of budget talk today because we've been in newsroom, and I feel like I've been over the document and stuff like that, and I just have some thoughts, but it's quite hard to comprehend. You know, it's not an easy thing to really get your head around. So
and the budget, I do not envy. Maybe one day I would like to be in budget lockup, but you know, it's just this massive book that journalists just pour over for the 24 hours. No phone, no outside access. It's like Survivor.
100%.
You have to, you know, you can't leave until you read every single sub article of youth allowance.
Yeah.
That was dramatic, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a lot in it, but there's also a lot that we should know and that our audience should know. So let's break it down.
Yeah, please. Tell me what's going on because I really don't know and I've been here all day.
Honestly, I wrote it. No, I don't really know still.
I've read multiple stories about this and I'm still confused.
Look, it's definitely a pre-election budget.
Yes.
And a lot of commentators, both journalists, economists, academics, have all been saying it is quite the cash splash. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that anyone was expecting anything different with the pre-election budget. But it does mean, you know, there's a few implications for different groups of people, different sectors, including youth like us. Us.
The youth.
The youth, as they call us, the youth. And I think the biggest thing that everyone has been talking about in the weeks leading up to this is the cost of living.
Cost of living,
You know,
yes.
we've been having this discussion. It is stupid.
Yeah. It's
living
getting
at the moment
expensive. It's hard out
sucks.
here.
It really sucks in terms of, we're talking about price of food, we're talking about price of living, housing, fuel,
Everything essentially. It's
wild.
It's getting crazy out here.
And the budget's announced a few things over the past week that were cemented last night. And basically 3 key things were announced to tackle the cost of living. So first of all, the fuel excise, which is actually a tax levy that's put on our fuel that the government takes. It's usually about 44.2 cents per litre. And that's taken basically for our use on the roads and then put back into work on the roads. And so there was a lot of speculation about this. Scott Morrison was really tight-lipped, but they did announce that they're going to halve it for 6 months to 22.1 cents per litre. And there's an interesting thing about this one. Obviously, it's going to help our pockets in the short term. Fuel will be, I think, for a medium-sized car over the 6 months, saving about $300 on fuel, which, it's never a bad thing to be saving money.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, why 6 months? Do we think cost of living is going to be improved in 6 months? A lot of economists are saying no, probably not. And it's a bit of a win-win for the government because, it is a pre-election budget. So if, for example, Labor were to win, Labor are going to have to be the ones to bring it back in because if we don't have this full tax, then the roads aren't getting fixed. So someone's going to have to bring it back in. The Liberals could say, oh, well, we're the ones who took it away in the first place. We always knew this was going to happen. Like, it's kind of a win-win for them. And no doubt if Labor were to win and had to bring it back in because of financial reasons, it will be spun in all sorts of ways. As Labor is spinning it now, that's just politics. But that's one of the main things that have come out for cost of living. Secondly, $250 payments for welfare recipients. So we're talking age pension, disability support, parenting payments, job seeker, youth allowance. So, I'm on youth allowance, so that's $250 in my pocket.
Right.
That's good.
Is that only a one-time payment?
That is a one-time payment.
Okay.
Again, when you think about, what we're paying for fuel, what we're paying for groceries, rent.
I don't know about you,
much.
but my rent's $200
I don't know about
a week.
you, but
so,
$250 is not enough.
What am I doing with $50, I guess? Aldi shop.
And I guess that's the thing, when the government is trying to, there's not enough money being taken in tax and in other places to create this surplus to be giving out more money.
Yeah.
This is, I guess, what's leading people to say it is a bit of a cash splash. Oh, everyone sees, $250, that's so kind of them, thank you. Which maybe might sway voters a certain way.
Yeah.
And lastly, a one-off tax cut of...
Wait for it.
$420.
Which, when I saw that last night, I laughed. And I said, oh, who approved that number? The same people that approved the Women's Network logo. I was like, $420.
Look, as we'll allude to later, not much in for youth in the budget, except maybe that laugh.
That little laugh.
So that's for anyone with an income below $126,000 a year. And they're going to get that when they file for their tax return from July 1st. Bit of a catch, though, to this one. You actually won't get the $420 if you earn below the tax-free threshold of $18,000. So a lot of casual workers, I don't know if you guys, you might not be earning that much in a year, and you can tick the little form that's like, oh, please don't tax me, you won't get that money, which I kind of get, but again, kind of sucks for the people who aren't making the money in the first place. But again, 90% of taxpayers earn less than $126,000 a year, so it is. Yeah, we can class that as a win for cost of living.
And I guess moving on to housing, I mean, I'm not going to buy a house anytime soon, but
one can dream.
I don't think probably in my lifetime at this point. But was there anything said that was helping out with housing?
Well, look, the government announced an extension of the First Home Guarantee Scheme. So that's a scheme that's been in place for a little while now. And it's basically the government acts as the guarantor for your mortgage, meaning you don't have to pay a lender's mortgage insurance. So that means you can actually put down a house deposit for less than 5%, which is not, it is a big help. And so they said they're expanding the scheme from 10,000 places to 35,000 places. Again, some commentators are saying that's not really that much. There's also specific eligibility. And only $8.6 million have been committed over the next 4 years. And I mean, here in the Illawarra, Wollongong and Kiama's median house prices have increased to over $1 million. Incredibly. Where I think Kiama's the fastest increasing LGA for house prices, which is just insane. So in terms of addressing their housing affordability, pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
And it's a few commentators have said that, you know, we're doing this first home buyer scheme is going to get more people to buy houses, which is great. But then more people buying houses means a harder market to get into, which means more expensive houses. So a win for people who, you know, need that help buying a first home, but really nothing there for housing affordability, unfortunately.
So I know there was a lot of promises to help the arts sector out as well for this budget. And they've been just like hit with the pandemic, of course, like that Yours Announced Festival cancelled trip. They just can't seem to catch a break. Is there any like relief given to them in this budget?
Well, it's really funny. Frydenberg, the treasurer, actually said to Triple J Hack last week, you know, we're gonna this is gonna be a budget for arts and culture.
Exactly,
we're gonna you know, inject some money into that. Ba-bow. I wish I had a sound effect for that. Ba-bow. Incorrect.
Boo.
Thank you. So basically, about $38 million was announced in new funding to extend the RISE grants program, which is a program for arts, you know, venues and bands and gigs to apply for. But they've also announced that they're winding that down by the end of the year because, you know, the pandemic's over. We can like
everything's fixed now.
Everything's better. So yeah, not really what the arts industry was looking for, especially, you know, it would cost a pretty penny to put on Yours Announced Fest.
Yeah.
And I know that wasn't COVID related, but, you know, they won't be getting much relief from these sorts of schemes. But on the flip side, $20 million to plant trees for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. So that's
nice.
There.
That's really lovely.
That's there. But look, in terms of probably the things that matter most to us and matter to our listeners, winners or losers, everyone always comes out of budget and all you see, who's the winners, who's the losers. And I hate to say it, but look, we're not exactly winning.
We are the losers.
We are big L. Catch that L, Michaela. Is that what they say? Is that what the kids say?
I'm catching it. It's heavy.
It is weighing me down. Look, yeah, there's a few things in there for young people, quite a bit for apprentices, which is really great if you want to go into a trade. $954 million to encourage employers in quote unquote priority sectors to take on apprentices. $50 million to train new people in aged care courses. Again, really important, really great.
Yes, definitely.
Mental health funding, $500 million over the next 5 years for the next stage of the National Mental Health and Suicide Prevention Plan. So that's going to organisations like Lifeline, Headspace. We like that. An extension of, you know, the subsidised Medicare,
because that is an extreme problem especially, I don't know about your friend groups, but just the people around me. It's just so hard to get an appointment somewhere.
It's really hard, and it's really and also if you're sick or for any reason, like losing money because of not being able to attend these things is just, it's a tricky one. And, you know, understaffed services like Lifeline and Headspace, and just not being able to help people when they most need it. So that is a big win. We can't discredit you know, that money that's going towards that. That's about it, eh?
Is that really it?
I wish I was pretty much, if you're under 25, apart from, you know, that first home buyer scheme I mentioned, the mental health funding, the apprentice scheme, there's not really anything else specific for us. And arguably, you could say like a lot of university students like us and, you know, other groups, we don't really fit into any of those.
Yeah.
I don't want to buy, like, the mental health funding is fantastic.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm not an apprentice and I don't want to buy a house.
Yeah.
I would like to. I just can't buy a house anytime soon.
Yeah.
So nothing really there quite for us. And, you know, changes to welfare was never really expected.
Yeah.
But, again,
the 420 though.
Well, I don't know if we're I probably won't meet the tax threshold.
Probably
so
not
I can't
not
blaze
me.
it.
Yeah.
What a joke.
What a joke.
Can't blaze it. And yeah, look, we actually had a chat, Jeremy Enger, is that his name? Not Jeremy Enger.
Eager.
Sorry. I got my talent mixed up. Jeremy Eager, he actually spoke to Political and International Studies Associate Professor Susan Engel this morning and asked her about her opinion on the budget specifically targeted towards, you know, people our age. And here's a little bit of what she had to say.
There is a sense from other elections around the country that people are lacking faith in the Liberal Party, and certainly amongst young people, the strong sense around the lack of lack of action on the environment and so on. I would be surprised if that doesn't translate into a fairly strong reaction against a government that is quite literally buying votes.
Damn, she went for the throat with that.
Yeah, that was some pretty strong language.
She's essentially saying a revolution is coming, so be prepared.
Well, I'm not sure. Well, we can, if that's your interpretation of that. She's like, the revolution of the young people are coming. And I mean, everyone has their own opinions on this, but I think there's probably one other thing that we would have liked to have seen, and a lot of other students and people our age would have liked to have seen.
Especially with what's happened recently.
And that is climate change.
Yeah.
It's an issue that is impacting our future, and again, this is a bit of a pre-election budget. There's not really that sort of long-term solution, long-term looking forward. And, this is not a government that has been known for investing in climate change long-term. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah, no, not really.
It's not a climate change budget by any means. There's $300 million going towards the recovery for the New South Wales and Queensland floods. Obviously, that's a really important thing.
Yeah.
But having said that, the emergency recovery fund for the bushfires 2 years ago, not 1 cent of it has been touched. So take with that what you will. Hopefully this is something a bit more fast moving this time around. There was one funding measure of $247 million to encourage the private sector to invest in low emissions technologies like hydrogen.
Yeah, I saw that one.
But those specific technologies haven't really ever been tested on a large scale.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not really much evidence to say in terms of like moving towards hydrogen fueled Australia. It's just there's no feasible way you can say that yet. So again, people aren't particularly happy with that. No funding for renewable energy projects. The government spend on some of its key climate change agencies like the Australian Renewable Energy Arena which invests in those technologies. It's set to decrease by 35% over the next 4 years.
Oh my gosh.
Which was just a little sneaky hidden one in
Ooh,
there.
that's juicy.
And look, again, Jeremy put this to Associate Professor Engel about climate change, and this is what she had to say.
Their record on climate hasn't been outstanding either. We've all been restricted by the general public lack of interest in the issue. So that will be interesting, and young people need to continue to provide a lot of pressure on governments of whatever ilk to ensure that we get better action on climate. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so look, there's so much more will come out over the next few days as budget reaction, as we await that announcement of the election. Obviously, that was a really quick breakdown of issues that sort of matter to you and I, and hopefully to our listeners.
Yeah, hopefully it's easier to understand now.
Hopefully it's easier.
That helped me, Maddie. Thank you.
You're welcome. And, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what sort of impact these decisions have on the election that's coming up.
You're listening to Mix and Mads on Radio U.
You've watched Bridgerton, right? Did you know in the first episode
they
do a cover of
They
this?
do. Isn't it beautiful?
It's
I love
so
if you don't want to watch Bridgerton, that's fine, but look up the Bridgerton soundtrack because they take modern songs and like orchestrate them.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And they did the Rihanna Diamond song.
They did, and they did Harry Styles. They've done Thank You Next, Ariana Grande. Beautiful. Oh, sorry, spoiler.
Spoiler for Harry Styles.
Spoiler, look it up on Spotify. It's quite a lovely listen.
Yeah, I love that.
And also watch the show for other reasons you might enjoy.
100%. So Maddie and I, we were planning on going to Yours and Ours together. And I was going to meet Maddie's cousin and everything like that. And it was really going to be a good time.
It's going to be beautiful.
It was going to be a whole crossover episode of all my friend groups, essentially. And
did you ever watch like Disney Channel where they did like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and Hannah Montana and they did crossover episodes?
Yeah,
it would have been like that.
Be me this weekend, essentially.
Lost opportunities.
But just to pay our respects to Yours and Ours, which was cancelled due to flooding, our reporter for Newsroom today, Jack Egan, he went around and just asked everybody how they were feeling, and this is the result. And of course, Hilltop Hood's playing in the background to, remember them.
Remember the fallen soldier.
Hi, I'm Jack Egan here with UOW TV. Could you tell me your name and title, please?
Chelsea.
Lockie.
Harvey.
Chloe.
So Yours and Ours was cancelled for this weekend on only about 4 days' notice, and You had tickets, so how does that make you feel?
Not terrible, but not great. I kind of have more time to study now, but yeah, I was really excited.
Yeah, look, it's one of those things where, particularly after COVID and the kind of year we've had, an excellent O week, we're back on campus. It was going to be great to kind of top off the start of a great year.
I mean, it's good that they've cancelled it because I don't want the whole field to be muddy and stuff, but also bummed out. I was kind of keen.
And sad that it wasn't COVID related just because of the rain. I think it's a bit of a shame, but not much they can do really.
Yeah, it was kind of expected.
It's been hectic with how many mils of rain we've had, so obviously it's a safety and whatever situation they had to, but to cancel it's rough.
Had all planned out, had the weekend off and everything, but at the same time I am saving money as well, so it's like a win-lose situation. I'm not too fussed about it.
Remember yours and ours by.
Beautiful song choice there too.
Yeah,
I think Hilltop Woods was my most excited. Little, 8-year-old Maddie singing Nosebleed Section.
Oh my God, Cosby Sweater. I have just the best memories to that. Oh my goodness.
Do you know no, we don't have time for this, but I'll tell you later. Do you know what a Cosby Sweater is? We'll have this discussion afterwards.
Nobody look that up.
No, don't. It's like in school when they told you to look up blue waffle. Don't look up blue waffle.
You're just giving them ideas.
I mean, do it at your own discretion.
Oh God, don't blame us. But so I guess another thing I really wanted to discuss with you, Maddie, is good old Married at First Sight Australia.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if you've been keeping up with good old MAFS.
I don't watch MAFS, but I feel like this year specifically, it hasn't mattered that I don't watch it because there are clips of it everywhere. Of all, it seems like it's been pretty juicy because it's my whole TikTok. And I'm like, algorithm, you're preaching to the wrong choir, but I still watch it.
Well, I see American viewers on TikTok being like, MAFS Australia is the wildest MAFS.
It's actually like pretty renowned because they started in America and England making their own versions of MAFS. But nothing compares. Nothing compares to down here.
It doesn't. And I guess one of the things that I really wanted to talk about with you was the really, really horrible slut shaming that went on that show this season.
Was this a couple like last week or something?
It was.
It's been kind of going on.
Yeah, it's been a really ongoing thing, like the topic of conversation. Wow. And essentially, if you don't know, Olivia is a girl that actually found OnlyFans photos of another participant on the show, Dominica. And essentially Olivia, even though she claims it wasn't with any malicious intent, shared those photos around and to everybody on the show, and essentially somehow it convinced everybody to go against Dominica and hate Dominica for the fact that she had posted these photos and they were on the internet. So it's just the craziest thing. And now the most recent news is that she's gone on a radio show, done an interview and said that she's the most hated person in Australia. She's more hated than Vladimir Putin. Let's just hear what she had to say, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, like more people have signed a petition to have me arrested or something than to end the war in Ukraine. So in Australia, I feel like I'm more hated than Vladimir Putin.
But you've got to...
I would like fact check
so
onto this, please.
I think the fact check was like 200,000 people signed this petition to get her to removed off TV or something. And I don't know, 2.7 million people have signed the petition against Ukraine.
Ever so slight difference in those numbers.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Wow.
Yeah, so I guess the whole issue is people are really, really hating Olivia because of the way that she's been behaving on the show.
She lost her job. Did you say that?
She did.
She lost her job.
She lost her job, which honestly, if you've seen the show, it doesn't surprise me. Just her behaviour and the fact that it's been aired on a national TV show.
One of the most popular. I don't know what that says about Australia, but one of the most popular Australian TV shows, yeah.
And the fact there's gotten to a point where it's like, when do these producers step in and change the outcome of these things? When does a lesson start to be learned or taught through this? You know what I mean?
But even I won't lie, I've watched a couple of clips and you can tell it's same with The Bachelor, same with any other reality TV show. The editing, it's obvious to those of us who sometimes edit things. When there was the other night, there was a long dramatic pause and you could see it was facing, so say, for example, like we're sitting facing each other. There's a camera behind me on your face, and it's meant to be that you're paused because you're strenuously thinking. You can see the back of my head moving.
Yeah.
But they've just muted the audio as
Yeah,
if I'm not
exactly.
talking and edited together all these clips to make it, you know, an issue when there was no issue. It's just good television, you know what I mean? And I think, obviously, they need the content in the first place. Like, obviously, Olivia has done these things and things have been said, but then it's just, you know, completely dramatized and exemplified by these editing. And yeah, where's the duty of care?
Exactly. Where is the duty of care? And I know they have these experts or these psychologists that are on there or whatever. I don't know. I want to see their credentials, please. Like,
I would
please
like to
give me
see
the
that frame on the
receipts.
wall.
Like, honestly, sometimes the things they say, they're like, just suck it up. If you're being treated horribly, suck it up, guys. Anyway. But yeah, they do have that on the show and they're commentating on it. But the fact that Olivia somehow turned this whole table of people around onto Dominica and she's being openly slut-shamed on a national TV show in 2022, which, by the way, I haven't even heard the word slut-shamed in forever because I thought we were beyond it.
No. And I think from what I saw of it too, you know, the argument was, oh, well, she put it on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a difference. She was there. She was there owning it. She's like, yeah, I put it on the internet. You know, this was a way I made my income. That's not a problem. My partner knows this. We've had this conversation. But to then not see the issue with sharing it around in a malicious intent. And she's like, oh, my friend, you know, looked it up and just happened to come across it. No. You had to pay for an OnlyFans account to get that photo.
Oh,
that photo,
so
if I
true.
Googled right now, that photo is not coming up.
That
You know what I
is
mean?
not coming up.
There's just a whole lot of, and to go to that length to, you know, slut shame somebody, you know, there's the issue in that. But then there is, as you said, there's the issue of who's in control of this, and why do we, as, I mean, we're here talking about it, we're breaking it down, but you know, consumers love to watch it. So is that
I do.
where
I do.
I do like to watch it.
No shame.
You know, so what does that say about us?
Yes, well, exactly. Are we fueling the fire essentially by wanting this entertainment? So
Probably.
It's just And there was a whole glass shattering thing, and I can't. Well, if you're watching it at the moment, it was the final vows last night. And
Yes.
There's basically a reunion happening over the
I actually
weekend.
think I'll watch the reunion. I've
I'm
not seen one
so-
episode of the show, but you can bet that I will be there to see that
Girl,
drama,
I'm
which
so
again says
excited.
really bad about us. We're the problem. I think if I've produced anything from this
Specifically
conversation,
you and I.
yeah, just us. We are actually the problem. Wow, I'm really glad we had this discussion.
Yeah.
Gonna go take a look in the
So
mirror.
I just wanted to, you know, have people thinking about, you know, what they're consuming on TV, whether it is fake or, you know, really highly edited, or if it is, you know, whatever it is, there's still a level of slut shaming that's happening.
And they're real people.
And they are real people. And God bless Dominica, she really fought back. Actually, I just want to share what she said.
Yeah, go for it.
If they are slut shaming, I'll wear it like a badge of honour, because my body, my choice, bitch.
The dramatic music in the background is just amazing.
Yeah,
so
wow.
that's my MAFS talk for the day.
For the day. And you know what? We can't even, I mean, maybe we can talk reunion next week.
Yeah, oh my
We've come too late to the
God.
game. We need MAFS to start now. We
Oh
would
my
have
God,
had
I'm already ready
10
for the
minutes
next
of content
season.
every week.
I'm ready for the next season.
I'm waiting for The Bachelor. When's that?
Oh, yes, The Bachelor. Oh, that's so good.
I can assure you we'll be bringing you all the most important news and current affairs events of the week, like Married at First Sight.
What am I going to do my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday night?
Could study.
No.
And on that note.
And on that note, thank you so much for joining our first show, everybody. Or to our listeners out there, thank you so much. It's been so fun.
Can't wait to, you know, hang out a bit more this semester.
Yeah,
Stay in touch with us.
Good. And yeah, thank you so much. It's been our first ever show, and thank you to Noah as well.
From UOW Basketball Club. And yeah, we'll hope to be talking to some more clubs, some more societies. And yeah, see you next week, Michaela.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.